Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much. Let's get started. So, Devils fans, I know we're still waiting to see what happens with Luke Hughes, but I had to do a video on this because I wanted to do a video a little bit earlier, but I just didn't know what was going to happen in regards to Luke Hughes. I thought he'd be signed by now, but with Tom Fitzgerald saying that he was priority and he wanted to get him done as quickly as possible, we're still in 40 plus days of waiting to see what happens with Luke Hughes. But, I had to do this video because I like what Tom Fitzgerald did. I don't like that he hasn't addressed a top six winger or a top six forward. And, that's my biggest gripe with the offseason, but I do like other moves he's made. And, let's talk about it in this video. The biggest thing out there, we're waiting to see what happens with is Luke Hughes. Luke Hughes needs his contract extension. The Devils don't have a lot of cap space. They have a little bit over $6.1 million available in cap space now. But I playing around with Puck PD, I wanted to see what it would look like if we sign Luke Hughes and put Kovacevic to LTIR, because that's going to happen. The Devils don't have to make a move to address that. They don't have to trade off players to sign Luke Hughes right now. We have Kovacevic that's going to miss a lot of time. A lot of the people are talking about him missing possibly up to I think January or February. So he's going to miss a good amount of time where the Devils can use the LTIR to their advantage of being over the cap. But, I signed Luke Hughes to an 8 times 8.5. I think he'll sign for less than that dollar-wise, but hopefully Tom Fitzgerald could lock him into an 8-year deal. This is the last year they can do these 8-year deals. And, we heard some rumblings going around. It might be like a 2 to 3 year deal, or it might be a 7-year deal. I hope he takes advantage of the 8 for the last time and signs him to an 8-year deal. So I signed him for an 8 times 8.5, and then I put Kovacevic on LTIR. That left the Devils with 1.48, a little bit over that million in cap space. So, after all these tournaments and camps that start the year, if the Devils still feel like they don't have a top 6 winger, maybe they can sign one available that's left over there that can help out to whatever's left over. That's a possibility. And then address that need later in the year. When Kovacevic is ready to return, maybe we see the trade happen where the Devils can offset a Palat, or maybe we see what happens with Mercer going forward. But, I'm still upset about that, but I do like Tom Fitzgerald addressed our depth situation. Our bottom 2 lines are a lot better this year, going into this year, than they were last year. So looking at the additions, he brought in Bordeleau, he brought in Connor Brown, he brought in Evgeny Danilov, Cruikshank is another one. He also brought in Arseny Gritsyuk, who's not listed here. His KHL contract expired, so he was able to sign that 1-year deal with the Devils. And also Brad Shaw. It's not going to be listed here. He's not a player, but he's going to be a good addition to the coaching staff. That's going to be one of those things that's going to help out the team as well. Subtractions. This is something that I am shocked he didn't bring any of them back. I've done a lot of videos on a lot of these players. I liked them years past. They did serve a purpose, but this past year, none of them really did anything. And we're waiting for them to become UFAs this offseason. And looking at them, I'm glad Fitzgerald didn't bring back any of them. Nathan Bastian, Shane Bowers, Dowling, who signed with the Rangers, Foote, traded Halla, which is another contract I didn't think a lot of teams would bite on, but he was able to trade him for a decent return. Lazar, Sprong, Tatar. These are players who really didn't help out. And if there's one thing you can say, our bottom 2 lines look a lot better this upcoming season than they do in years past. And, they're going to add a lot. Connor Brown is going to chip in here and there. He's a good bottom line guy. He did sign for a little bit more than I anticipated for, but free agency, that's what happens. Bringing in Dadonov for 1 year, $1 million. That was a great move. I love this move. Getting up there in age, but I like what he's going to provide. Maybe, hopefully, he can bring in 15 goals, 15 assists around that point. He did 20 and 20 last year. So even if he could help out Gritsyuk, find his game, and get suited in the NHL, that's a win-win for the Devils. Love that contract. So our 2 bottom lines could potentially be Dadonov, Mercer, and Gritsyuk for that 3rd line. And maybe you have the 4th line of Cotter, Glass, and Brown, which is a great upgrade from last year. So even though I'm upset about Fitzgerald not addressing that top 6 forward, I hope he can, because I really feel like the Devils are primed to make one of these moves. I don't want to go into another year of let's see what we can do and win 1 round this year, win 2 rounds, because you know what happens? Players get older, your core is going to get older, and their contracts are going to expire. Nico Heischer's contract is coming up in a couple of years where he needs a new one. It could be a situation where maybe he wants to go to another team. I hope he doesn't, but that can be a situation that happens. You have to be ready for that, and you have to have players to step in if that happens. And you need other players there as well. So that's the thing. I don't want to waste what we have now. I want to add to it while we can. We have a lot of prospects that, if you don't see them being a fit for the next couple of years in the Devils, trade them off and see what you can get for them. Package them for a good return for the Devils. And I really feel like the Devils have decent prospects that they can do that. And the time is now to do this because, our defense looks good for the next coming years. The Devils in goal have a lot of prospects coming up that look good as well. A lot of forwards in the system that are really showing promise as well. So we'll see what happens. But I don't see any of these moves happening now leading into the season. I think this is something where we wait and see what happens. And then maybe Fitzgerald addresses it during the season. So comment below. What do you think about what Tom Fitzgerald has done leading into free agency this year? And what do you hope he does? Do you hope he addresses it before the season starts? Or are you okay with what we have now and seeing what we have to make room to make moves during the season? Comment below and let me know. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate your time. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the hockey channel. Join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Take it easy. Stay safe.